Shut up and sit down.
Oh, hello and welcome to another North Wales side-by-side video. And in this video, what I'm going to do is some very, very hard braking from what I call residential speeds. So a lot of residential streets are 20 miles an hour and a lot are 30 miles an hour. So what I'm going to do is use a device called a draggy, which is a GPS data logging device. What I've got here, this bit of kit, it's called a draggy, and it's a GPS data logging device, and it connects to an app on my phone. That's the draggy app. What it's going to do is allow me to do a 20 to 0 or a 30 to 0 and measure the time it takes me to stop. There's a lot of data in here, I need to clear it. I'm going to bin it all actually before we start, so we've only got the data we need. So we'll delete all the data so we've got a fresh. And an app on the phone that talks to the draggy. And we're going to do on the same piece of road using the same gateway as my marker point for standing on the brakes. So we're sort of in the same road conditions for all the tests. And we'll see how fast and how varied the tests are from 20 to 0 and 30 to 0. We'll have a look at some data, then we'll compare it to the information the government put in the highway code and see how far modern brakes have come in stopping distances compared to the highway code. I just thought it might be a cool little experiment to do with the legislation in Wales changing very soon, where all our residential streets are going down from 30 miles an hour to 20 miles an hour. I just thought I'd try and gather some information and see what the stopping distances are. So enjoy the video, there's lots of screenshots in it, because I'm driving home from the experiment now. I've already done all the testing. They're all valid tests. It says on the data every one of them is valid. So let's have a look at the data in the video. Just a little disclaimer in this video. You will notice there are some variations in where I stood on the brakes. That's down to me trying to vary the reaction time on the testing, because I'm trying to make these slightly realistic tests, because everybody's braking reaction or their the way they react to a hazard is slightly different. The speed they react to it is different. So there are some variations in the test and where I stood on the brakes. But I was trying to use the same gateway as my braking point. In some of the tests I've braked just as I get to the gate entrance, some of them I've braked as I'm going past the gate entrance, and they're in varying positions, so just bear that in mind. But that is how I've tried to make it as realistic as possible. Like I said, everybody's reaction time is going to be different to a hazard. Everybody's hazard perception is different. So, here comes the video. Oh, one more little point. All the tests you're watching are done in a Toyota Yaris GR Sport that was purchased on the 6th of January 2023, and it's now the 25th of June 2023. So this car is over 6 months old and has done 9,924 miles up to date. So this car's got some wear and tear on it. Not a lot, but it's got wear and tear on it. And the tyres I'm using are not the original Bridgestones. They're a set of Kumo PS71 tyres, so they're not the originals. So we've got both cameras recording, one watching the outside world, one watching inside the car. This is the stretch of road I'm going to use to do the braking tests. But I want something that's quite obvious to pick as a braking point. And I think I'm going to use this gateway here. I've set the speed limiter to 20 miles an hour. So however hard I drive the car, I cannot exceed 20 miles an hour. But I want to be doing a steady 20 when I stand on the brakes. We reset the draggy and we press go. Let's see if this works. Put the phone down there so it doesn't disappear off the seat and go. That's 20 miles an hour. There's the gateway. Let me get my test equipment working properly. I think I've just spotted what's going on here. I'm only getting, according to GPS, 18 miles an hour. So I'm going to set the speed limiter at 23, because I think the GPS data and the data on the car are not corresponding. So let's try again. Let's try that again. 20 to 0. it's now telling me I've got a valid data point. So let's have a look, see what we got. It's telling me it's valid. That was a valid test. And that was 20 to 0 in 1.38 seconds in a distance of 16.27 feet. So I'm going to screenshot that and save that. I've got that saved. We'll now do it at 30 miles an hour. So, phone's safe. So it's looking like I have to set the speed limiter on the car 2 to 3 miles an hour higher than I'm getting the GPS speed. So once again, we're down the road. We'll set the speed limiter to 33, even though I'm doing the test as a 30 to 0. Like I said, the car isn't matching the GPS data. So let's try a 30 to 0 using the gate. There we go. That's 30. I've got some more valid data points. Let's pull in and have a look at them. I'm going to do that. A 20-0 and a 30-0. I'm going to do them 3 times each. I want the 30. Yep, we were at 30 miles an hour. And the stopping speed was 1.51 seconds in 32.99 feet. 32.99. At 20 miles an hour it was 16.27 and it took 1.38 seconds. So 1.51 or 1.38 seconds, depending how fast we were going. That's only 0.12 of a second slower, but we did cover 33 foot and 16.27 feet. So 2 16ths is 32. We actually covered twice the distance at 30 miles an hour. So let's gather some more data. We'll do 30 another 2 times, and then we'll do 20 again twice. Thirty to 0 again. Go. again. So that was the second 30 to 0. That was the last 30 to 0. Let's have a quick look at the data. We should have 3 valid 30 to 0s. See how much they change. I've got an invalid one here, so I'm going to have to do it again. I've actually got a verified 30 to 0 of 1.38 seconds. Still at 31 foot. I've got a verified 20 to 0 of 11 foot, 0.886 of a second. But that one's come out of another data PID. Okay, we'll ignore that one. One more 30. I need another verified 30, so we've got 3 verified data points. I think the brakes are getting warmer now and the tyres are getting warmer, which is why I think the distances are coming down. Let's see if we can get one more 30 in. 30 to 0. I forgot to set the speed limiter. Let's try that again, 30 to 0. See if we've got a valid data point. I've got 3 verified 30 to 0s. But that one was 2.48 seconds. But we've got some data to work on now. They vary from 1.51, 1.38, 2.48. There is a variation, but not a lot. Let me see if it's something to do with how hot the brakes are, because I've been hammering the brakes. Back to 20 mile an hour testing. I've got a car full of flies. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little experiment on the braking performance of the Toyota Yaris GR Sport. But the biggest variable in any test like this is not the car's capabilities. It all comes down to the person and the thinking time about when you spot the hazard and how fast you react to the hazard, because that can vary a lot from person to person. I'm not taking that into consideration whilst when I conducted these experiments. All I was interested in was time in seconds to stop from standing on the brakes and the distance covered from standing on the brakes to stopping. And the way I was controlling my speed was using the speed limiter function on the car. And I had to do a few experiments to start with, because when I set the speed limiter at 20 miles an hour, tried to do it, I couldn't get a valid test because the GPS said I was only doing 18 miles an hour. So it looks like there's a 2 miles an hour discrepancy between GPS and the speedo in the car. So if the speedo's reading 20, according to GPS, you're doing 18. So I have to increase the speed limiter in both the 20 mile an hour tests and the 30 mile an hour tests by 3 miles an hour, so I could exceed the test parameters, which was 30 and 20, but the GPS logger has done the work, done the homework for me, and because it's been told 30, 0, 20, 0, it's worked it all out for me. So the extra 1 mile an hour is only a small margin on the error in the testing. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed me hammering on my brakes on my GR Sport, and I hope you get some insights as to how good the brakes are on modern cars, especially this one, because this is the car I've been using for testing. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Please consider a thumbs up, it's appreciated. Please consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.